There's a couple of deaths have been in the news the last few weeks. And because we're all subjective beings, we see the world as like this canvas that we project all of our interest upon, what we think is good, what we're interested in, what we feel about, and the other things we don't see as unimportant. People involved in it we don't see as important. Well, just to give it perspective, there were 3 deaths. One was a Nobel Prize winning physicist, mathematician, I want to say, 93 years old, from Japan. No one really knows or cares about that. That's a factoid they scroll over. This is a man from another time. Most people don't know jack shit about mathematics, etc., etc. But the 2 other deaths were D'Angelo, these are the ones I speak of, and Charlie Kirk. Everybody's talking about that. Now, personally, by way of demonstration, the one I really care about, the one that hits me, is D'Angelo. He hit something, he spoke to something, represented something in me, the way I saw him, the way I enjoyed his music. It resonated with me. It's a part of who I was. That's why I liked it so much. I mean, he was a fascinating guy. He came up in the church. That's where he learned his chops. And, he was following the system, more so than I, who was also trying to follow the system. So that's one of the things I really liked about him, too. He came from the church. I mean, I respect the discipline I recognize in people. But fame fucked him. He made bad choices. He got on dope. It killed his momentum. He couldn't do the thing. And so even though he'd done these blockbuster great 1, 2, 3 albums, all of a sudden he was done. He never got his momentum back. He tried to do a few exposure comeback things, but he struggled with his health after that. And apparently he'd struggled with cancer for a very long time. Died of cancer. And I feel a lot about that. I relate to it because, here's this guy who's trying really hard to be this good and faithful servant to a system, just as I, and it comes out like the book of Job again. I see that a lot, and it troubles me as a thinking person who attempts to believe. I come at it from that direction. It's a struggle for me, and I've had a lot of thought about that. So that's one that really hits me. Now, the Charlie Kirk thing, it's fucked up, because the thing that was fucked up about it was, first of all, I don't justify anything being done to anybody, but I do know this: in this culture, if you go out there and you are willing to be controversial, you're willing to challenge people, and in ways that's, in this day and age, you're challenging people where they're all fucked up with their emotions on shit. So you're gonna piss people off the minute you try to take away their baba. They're gonna start squalling right away with their little fucking red fist bunched up. Count on it. And some of these fucking cunts will shoot you. And that's exactly what he got. It wasn't some hardcore Antifa. It wasn't some longtime activist. It wasn't none of that shit. It was just some doofus who just, wow, politics, this is cool. And he was like some noob. And he wanted to do this thing so bad, and he fucking bought the propaganda too well. Oh yeah, I can call him a fascist, and online they say you should whack fascists because they're evil. Well, who's a fascist? Whoever the fuck we say. Now, it's impossible. This guy got killed because he's a fascist. Well, bullshit. Fascism is a word that means a thing. He wasn't part of some huge government, corporative, seamless melding. This is what you do. You get all the politics and all the industrialists on the same fucking page. They sign up. They're going along with it. And then now the other thing is you have to fully mobilize the citizenry. That's true fascism. That's what Franco did. That's what Mussolini did. It's not what Hitler did. Hitler did a thing called National Socialism, and it was I'm sorry, but no, it's not right wing. It's just those two things meet coming around the other side when they go that far in that direction. In case in point, blowhard, absolute fucking huckster, fucking Mussolini, he cozied up to Hitler and he regretted it because Hitler had no respect for him because he saw he was a weak bitch who got away with some shit. Franco wouldn't have anything to do with fucking Nazis or the Axis. No, we're going to sit this one out because they weren't buying it. Like, no, you're fucking on the other side. You are not traditionalist. You're not pro-church. You're not tradition. That's what we're all about. That's what fascism was all about. It was a cultural insularity tradition thing. And of course that would happen in Spain. I'm not condoning it, but of course it would happen in Spain when Spain's a country where they had to actually recapture their own country from the Moors, who were first honored guests and then later became, occupiers. Anyway, the way I feel about that one is this. It's fucked up that this guy came up through this modern day left thing and he's allowed to be brainwashed by this fucking stupid loose talk that they have that, oh, he's a fascist. So you know what you do with fascists? Pew pew, right? Now we got the leftists are quick to want to shoot somebody, just like they always accuse the right of being. And I still to this day see statistical analysis that claims most violence is right wing, and I want to know how their metric works because I keep seeing shit like this all the time. And I'm not seeing some guy with a MAGA hat shooting up someplace. I mean, the last thing I could think of that you could call right wing, and that's if you want to do it with a broad brush and say, well, if it's racist, it's right wing. Now, yeah, there's been some racist shit. There's been some nut job shit. There's been some, cultural xenophobic shit. There was some fucking asshole that attacked Catholics. There's some asshole that attacked a supermarket with only black people, and that's why he did it. I mean, that's hate crime shit, but it's not necessarily right wing. I'm not saying they were liberals, but I'm saying that had anything to do with it. Liberal, conservative, had anything to do with that particular fucking dynamic. That's a uglier, more baseline thing that doesn't require a political view. That's a simple-minded hatred. So, people immediately after the guy gets shot, he shot right in front of a bunch of fucking school kids. They're traumatized by that shit, whether they came there to fucking mock him or not. They're like, holy shit, I just saw this guy get fucking killed right in front of me. That's a big deal. And especially when it's done from a distance by a fucking firearm because, yeah, I could have been the next. And yeah, he was targeted, but they didn't know that. For a minute, they were probably scared to death that they were going to start spraying the crowd next. There was somebody out to get everybody. And people were acting like, well, good, because he was a bad person. I mean, people that are supposed to know fucking better. People are supposed to know fucking better. Was he Christian conservative, Republican? Yeah. But I mean, have you ever looked at his fucking material? He's no fucking fanatic. He's no fucking fanatic. And he was no fucking bigot either. And he wasn't, attacking anything other than preconceived notions, because that's all he offered was fucking polite and well-informed debate. Did he get a little bit stiff with people that went there just to fucking call him a fucking cocksucker and an asshole? Yeah, he did a little bit. He stood up for himself. Because some of those people are going to do that. You do an open mic forum, and you're going to get some stupid fucking frat boy who thinks he's smart, and he's just going to come out there and name call you because he doesn't really have anything. But he can't back down. He's got on the mic now. Everybody's looking. He's got to do something. That's the part that made me feel something about that death. I mean, I didn't have a problem with Charlie Kirk, but it was just like one of those goddamn, he got out there and a fucking Looney Tune got his ass. And I know that can happen at any time. If you dare to fucking think and force other people to think, thack not like think. Thack head hurt, thack kill. That's, how idiocratic our conventional culture is now. How people feel. And these people are like, well, I felt the kind of way about him and it wasn't good, so I'm glad he's dead. Ha ha ha. Well, okay. You fucking 3-year-old. And we're supposed to let you run around like you know what the fuck you're doing with your life and with society based on that mentality? I mean, the excesses of people today are the best argument I've ever seen for fucking oppression imaginable. I mean, the situation begs a fucking tyrant to come in and take over. Do I want that? Fuck no. Are you kidding me? But this is how you get tyrants, stupid. Okay? I mean, if everybody's going to be that fucking out of control, if why do you think they're allowing people to behave so badly? It's building a premise, stupid. Keep playing right into it. I'll sit back and watch. Hopefully the oppression will be so busy rounding up all you useful idiots that gave them premise that I can escape detection. I have ancestors that were fucking Native American. I have ancestors that were African American. So I can hide in the woods or say yow's a boss if they fucking capture me. I know how to survive either way. I mean, I come from people that had to survive fucked up shit. 400 years of fucking slavery is not a fucking small thing. Hundreds of years of slowly being chipped away and finally marginalized and moved off your own land is not a small thing. That's the blood of the people that I come from, as well mixed in with European. And if you're a commoner from Europe, your fucking history going back is not that fucking different. Trust. Why do you think those people came here? They were hoping for fucking better. There's a reason. They didn't come over here because they thought it was sexy. This shit was hard. And most of them had to sign into fucking voluntary slavery, indentured servitude, just to get here. So this whole country, whether you're fucking pale skin, red skin, black skin, it don't fucking matter. You're all from people that somebody was doing something to. If we could figure that shit out, we wouldn't have to make up this other shit to infight. I mean, I swear to God, all the fucking socio-political fucking squabbling shit, that's just white folks coming up to find some way to hate somebody, so they're doing it in-house. Because you can't be racist anymore. That used to be the fucking steam vent for poor white trash. Well, they can go over here and hate on these other colored people. That seems to be real therapeutic for them. They feel a lot better after that. They don't get nothing out of it, but at least they have the illusion that somehow they're better than somebody, because we let them pretend. And then they go back to their fucking white trash life, and it's no fucking better. When if everybody of every fucking color who's poor was together on the same page, well, that's a whole different calculation, because there's a lot of us and very few of them. Instead, people get killed for having an opinion. Instead, people that strive and try to follow a faith system end up suffering and dying. And what was the point of that? That was their reward for being a faithful and true servant. That's how I feel about things today, kids. That's how I feel about things today. I had given up being any kind of humanist. Much more on the religion tip. Now, as I've become far more seasoned than I was then, and I've continued to study the history and the socio-political process behind the actual codex itself, I don't know, I've come to the point of I really think about things a lot more than I did when I started. I'm not so sure what I think now. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to turn into an atheist, but I don't think I'm going to be the kind of believer that is described by what's come to be known as the Judeo-Christian system. I think I'll have to be considered a heretic of sorts, I guess. And I don't know how much longer I'll be alive, but maybe somebody can figure out things the way I have, that can figure out things the way I have about the dynamic of where we're at, and the mentality of people, and how right people are for something to take them over. Maybe now is an opportunity for somebody to hack that system. Maybe take people over with something else that works the same kind of way that they've been conditioned to be taken over mentally and spiritually. Maybe something could come in from left field. And maybe these two things are on the same fucking page if I think about it hard enough. Maybe.